This workout we're doing today is called the Fountain of Youth, and I've named it after Margaret, who wrote to me telling me how she started doing this program at age 70. She's 78 now. And she said that she feels younger and fitter and is able to do more things than she could do in her entire life. And she's fitter than all her friends.
Miranda Esmonde-White opening an episode of her TV show Classical Stretch. There, the fitness program airs on PBS. The show's maybe made for adults like Margaret, but it turns out some of the show's biggest fans are kids. Today, Esmonde-White visited Hopewell Public School to meet those young fans, as well as the local mom who teaches the classical stretch method at Hopewell, which they like to call classroom stretch. Here's Mom Amanda Sterczyk teaching a kindergarten class today.
And then when you bring your arms around in front, pull your monkey tail under, and use your butt cheeks to squeeze it in and keep it there. Awesome. Okay, now zombie over to one foot, to the other foot. Grab your buckets of water, and remember they're full, and we don't want to drip any water out of the buckets, and they're so heavy.
We don't want to spill any water.
Excellent. Okay, now put them on your shoulders, and you have to lift them up to that shelf up there. Excellent. Okay, reach, 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 reach.
I feel limber just listening to that, in fact. I'm not sure that Miranda Esmonde-White has ever used the whole buckets of water monkey tail idea so much. But she's joining me now in studio, Miranda Esmonde-White and Amanda Sterczyk, the mom behind the unofficial spin-off Classroom Stretch. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
So, Miranda, when you hear that and see what you saw today, what was going through your mind?
Yeah, and just so exciting. But you know what? I created the imagery for adults because adults, you don't want to say, okay, tuck your tailbone under and round your shoulders. Adults have terrible body awareness. So when you say, imagine you got a tail, a monkey tail, and then you pull it, everybody automatically curves their back and tucks under, and so you don't have to explain any more than that. And they do the exercises easily. So it's fun. And so all the imagery, Amanda, she enlarged and expanded on some of it, but basically it's pretty much the imagery that all the adults do. Even Olympic athletes and world champions are pulling a monkey tail.
I noticed that one of the images that you use, Miranda, is pulling a Marilyn Monroe at one point. Does that one get used in the class?
It does, but they don't really know who Marilyn Monroe is, unfortunately.
Do you use a different term for that?
A movie star.
Movie star.
Yeah,
movie star pose.
Star, yeah.
Amanda, what made you want to start teaching classical stretch methods at Hopewell?
Well, my kids go there, and they don't get gym every day in the school system.
Mm-hmm.
On the days they don't have scheduled gym, they do something called DPA, which is 20 minutes of daily physical activity with their teacher. Being such a large school with so many students, they can't even get in the gym to do their DPA. And, if the weather's rotten, too hot or too cold, the teachers don't want to take them outside. So they have a real challenge trying to come up with 15 to 20 minutes of physical activity that they can do anywhere. And I've been teaching classical stretch to adults for about 2 years now. And around the same time, I just thought, I could go in and do this in my kids' classroom and help out the teachers because you don't need any special equipment. I often just show up in my jeans so they can see that, you don't need to get all the expensive athletic
completely
wear.
Lululemoned in order to make it work. Okay, yeah. And so what was the reaction from the kids?
They love it, and they're so fantastic. I mean, they really energize you when you go in and teach it, and they want to come up with new stretches, and they come up with great names for some of the stretches. Like flamingo for a heel raiser. They like to call it a flamingo because they said it looked like a flamingo leg bending.
Right.
And the train, two little boys came up with the train, so they're sort of pulling an old-fashioned train. So fantastic stretch. And it's very clever.
So Miranda, how did you find out that you had these young fans in Canada at Hopewell?
Well, 2 weeks ago, Amanda, the grade 1 teacher had all her kids, so these 6-year-olds, write me thank you letters for creating classical stretch. And so they drew pictures and they wrote testimonials, little kitty testimonials, saying their favorite exercises and why they liked them. And it's so beautiful. It was so touching that was on a Friday. So I saw them on Friday when I got into the office, phoned Amanda immediately and said, I have to meet these kids. So Monday I came up and we saw them, and it was overwhelming to see the joy and to see that they were she's been working with them for 2 years, and these are little kids.
Yeah.
But they actually do these very sophisticated movements perfectly. So that was what shocked me. They're actually doing the same things adults do. So they're working through their spine, through their range of motion. They're increasing their strength and flexibility, but they think they're having fun. They don't realize that they're doing a mature, serious workout. That when I saw that, I saw something that we can do to help combat childhood obesity. That's what hit me right away, is that this is exercise. It's full body stretch and strengthening that little children love. So they're going to grow up with the memory of loving to exercise rather than dreading exercise.
Are there exercises that actually are easier for kids at that stage of their...
Well, what we do them so it's so adaptable. We just whatever their little bodies will do. Well, that's what they're doing. So they'll do a zombie, and they're just going at their level of a zombie. But we would give the same zombie to someone like Olympic.
For the uninitiated, a zombie is what?
Is imagine that you're a zombie, like you're Frankenstein, and you're rounding your back and dropping forward.
Gotcha.
And that's going to pull on your trapezius muscles. It's going to work the joints of your spine. So it's quite a sophisticated exercise. But the little kids are just sort of goofing around doing it, so they can't hurt themselves. But Alexandre Despatie, who does this program, he does it, and he's really deeply digging into his muscles. So 2 different levels of
I can
human
imagine,
being,
though, how you get a bunch of kids together. You say, "Okay, we're all going to be zombies." They're going to like that, though, probably,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, they do. They love it, and one of Miranda's stretches, and I'm sorry, Miranda, I can't remember the name, but you just basically contract your whole body and tighten everything up, and then relax it out. And I started calling it silent scream, where they zip their mouths, but it's like they're screaming with their entire body.
Wow.
And they love it. It's one of their favorites that they love to do.
She makes children scream with their entire body, and they enjoy it. So did you,
quiet.
Miranda, is there a possibility here then for a kid version of classical stretch? Will this be incorporated into the show?
Yes, this is absolutely. We're going to, not the television show, because the TV show is PBS. It's got a very specific audience.
Right.
It's adult. But we're already starting to work on trying to bring it into elementary schools across the nation.
So could Hopewell be starring in the video, is what we're wondering. Could this be a moment?
We haven't gotten that far yet.
Amanda, start trademarking all those flamingo words.
Yes, you're asking. Yeah, a little premature. 2 weeks in. Actually, my daughter started working on this childhood programming 4 years ago, but it's very hard to convince people to get kids to exercise, which is one of our big national problems.
Right. All right. Well, listen, congratulations on what you've accomplished here at the school. Amanda and Miranda, welcome to Ottawa. Welcome back to Ottawa. Yeah. So we'll work on those trademarks as well.
Right.
We'll be waiting to see what exactly happens with Classical Stretch for Kids. Miranda Esmonde-White, host of Classical Stretch, which airs on PBS, and Amanda Sterczyk, who teaches the unofficial spin-off she calls Classroom Stretch at Hopewell School.